Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Iconoblast Podcast, episode 100.
Woo! Woo!
My name is Cooper, and sitting with me as always is the one and only Joel R. Benner, and today we have two very, very special guests for a very, very special episode.
Hired actors.
Which you charge way, way too much for your level of talent, by the way. Just throwing that out there. You might get more work if you charge a little
It's
bit less.
only $172.
Yeah, I mean, mine was 73 cents.
You're a little more tenured than I am.
Thank you.
We're trying to make up for the inequality. That we're making up for the pay gap. Jessie's getting roughly. She's not getting the 70 cents on the dollar. She's just getting an extra 70 cents tacked on to her
more
paycheck.
screen time. Yeah.
We put the past on blast. Hit 'em with the truth, with things you never knew. Nobody is safe, no thing to place. Got Joel and Coop with history in your face. Got a blast.
So it's two of the favorites, I'm sure, from
Yes.
from your
down.
podcast.
Hands down favorites.
One is an audience favorite, and one is just a friend favorite. We're not going to say which one is which, right?
We'll let everybody guess.
This is going
We'll
to
let
eat me up
everyone
all
guess.
night
Right?
trying to figure this out.
Who is it? And you know what? We don't need to know. Do you know what I mean?
Well, it's
You guys just said,
it-
one of you's a real favorite, and one of you's
Well, I think
our
you guys
favorite.
you are for sure our two most frequent guests.
Yeah.
And I think you're tied right now.
I think I've done 3.
I think same.
I've done 4, 3 aired.
But you were me once.
Yes.
Oh,
Or you
that's
were
true.
Coop once.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were. What?
So it's
what was your character's name again?
You were straight.
Michael Cooper.
Michael Cooper.
Michael
Yeah.
Cooper. Yeah.
That's
my
a
long,
real co-host.
long
I've
lost
never
twin
done
brother.
that before.
Yeah, I filled in for Coop.
Yeah.
So-
You're our favorite guest, though, for sure. Both of you are.
You looked at him.
But which one do you like more?
Yeah. So we're actors, and
I-
we need
I-
constant
I think
validation.
We
That's why we got
I
into
like
that.
I
Yep.
like Jack more.
We
I
all
love
know-
Jessie because we're family. So
we
I
all know
have
who the
to.
favorite here is. We don't even need to debate it. Everybody knows who the favorite is.
Do a Sophie's Choice situation. Which one would
Yeah. So if one of
Which
us
one-
had to leave right now, leave or be killed.
be killed?
Okay. If
Ooh,
one of
that's
if one of
taking it
us
a
had to
little
be
bit
killed,
further.
let's go. Let's do it. It's 100.
She does have more to live for than I do
I was
in
gonna say,
so many
well,
ways. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Can I
We'd
choose
kill
myself?
Jack. I would kill Jack and take Taco for myself because she's got kids.
Yeah.
But I would take good
But
care of
y'all
Taco.
don't have a new dog, do you?
No.
You could take Taco.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
good with kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, he loves table scraps. He loves babies.
Yeah. I mean, because I would obviously be choosing for
You could strap
to
your baby
die
to
too.
his back.
Yeah. Because I wouldn't want to.
That situation worked itself out really
Yeah.
well.
Sorry,
I'll die.
guys.
We don't
Go ahead. I got nothing to live for except for
die.
that dog.
You and me both, Jack.
Should we say their
I got
names?
3 dogs. Oh yeah. So we're joined today by the one and only Jessie Wiseman and Jack Manford Mandaville the First.
Ooh, damn it. That's good. That's fucking good. Okay.
So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a bit of a cold read of a new historic document that we came across through our vast connection in the underground world of historic
history, yeah.
artifact smuggling.
Wow.
And don't ask too many questions.
Did you guys find that? Yeah, on Old Torf? Did you find that?
You can find anything on Old Torf. You look hard enough, you can
100%.
find
That's true.
anything.
That's true.
If you want to get yourself
I
mugged,
guess a bum was wiping his ass with it.
Yeah, there are poop stains on the document, but
yeah, that's why I had to transcribe it and reprint it because the original
Okay.
one was just a little too brown.
A little
And
stinky.
I don't mean that in
Yeah.
the way you think I mean it.
Right.
Today, we're celebrating the 100th official episode of the Iconoblast podcast by getting pants-shittingly drunk with some of our oldest friends. Which, by the way, cheers.
on
everybody. Are we
you.
supposed to? When are we supposed to crack the fireball?
oh, we're at the top.
Oh,
At the
okay.
top?
Well, let's
Yeah,
let's do
cheers.
that right now.
Oh, God. Okay.
I get heartburn.
You're gonna be all right.
I know. I'm going to get a tummy ache.
Cheers to
Cheers,
episode 100.
everybody. Here's to 100 episodes of 100 episodes of something that I can't believe lasted more than 10.
Love the show. Always love this show. And it's only gotten better. And I'm just so happy that
We're
you
happy
guys
we're
are
still
here,
here.
that you're doing it. And again, it just keeps
It's
getting
because
better.
of you, Jesse.
It is.
You picked
This-
up our show.
This
you
is all,
you were
this
the only
is
one here that believed in
all
us.
your fault.
I know. So I've got a real vested interest, right?
And now they got
keeping
merch.
keeping these
yeah,
kids
Yeah,
happy.
Yeah, I'm wearing my Iconoblast shirt today.
I love it.
Shop.drinkingbros.com.
I need one.
We really do owe you a lot for getting us out here, and I mean, at least for
Torturing
me.
us.
Yeah. No.
Well,
no.
I mean, you got to take the good with the bad.
no.
She,
most
le-
of it's-
she
most of
left
it's
us
bad,
when the
but-
freeze happened.
Oh,
Oh,
do you
no,
remember that?
I
We
remember.
moved you guys out here, and then we had like the deep, snowpocalypse,
one.
the big one. They were in a little apartment downtown.
The heater broke.
Heater
Power went
broke,
out.
probably pipes were bursting, and I said,
No
guys,
water.
I gotta go. Do you know what I mean? And I went to the beach. Not joking.
Oh yeah, y'all hit out
I
at the
did.
at the
I
As
did.
you
at the
should.
house.
Yeah, because
You earned it.
you know what? I think we're at one point we're all adults, right? And I just said, thank you. You guys you're here. You're settled in the apartment, and I'm just
I'm
gonna
outta here.
see you later.
They're not
Gonna
elderly.
see you later. They're not elderly.
Thank
they're
you
not
for moving halfway across the country. Now I'm going to be gone for a handful of
Yep,
weeks and
yep.
probably not have any contact with you, but don't take it personally.
Don't take it personal. And then remember, I was like, oh,
Enjoy
come
the
out,
weather.
We're gonna be dirt bags. We're gonna party. Guess what? Then I do. Pregnant.
Have a kid. Yeah.
Don't get
So
pregnant.
selfish.
I mean, the fact that
No
you guys
more
are still
cigarettes.
here is amazing. So
Oh, it's
after
not
all
like
I love
of
it here.
that shit,
not like we have anything better to do. But this honestly
Okay.
has been like some of the wildest times of my life so far, which is funny considering like the music industry, the film industry, whole lot of drug use over the course of my life, and it's
Sure.
just gotten better and better since I've been here.
the drugs. I know. It's just you
Is
have
the Austin drug scene pretty good?
you just have access to some different
Everything?
type.
Yeah.
Seems cleaner, right?
Unless you get the whatever that drug in it.
Hippie
Fentanyl.
stuff.
Fentanyl, yeah.
Yeah,
That's the real good shit.
Right, I know you're
Really
looking for it.
fuck you
Hey
up.
guys, you got that rainbow stuff? Yeah. All right, let's do this, guys.
Let's do it.
For the topic of this thinly veiled excuse to binge drink, we decided to tell the story of one of the greatest and most important benders in American history. And that's not hyperbolic. This really was one of the most important benders in American history. On September 14th, Jack's birthday, 1787, also Jack's birthday, George Washington met up with a group of his old war buddies to celebrate the conclusion of the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia. Along with the light horse cavalry unit he led across the Delaware River, Washington and his buddies racked up a bar tab that would make any modern-day trust fund socialite call their daddy for an advance on their weekly allowance. By the end of the night, these American patriots housed 60 bottles of Claret, 54 bottles of Madeira, 12 bottles of beer, 8 bottles of whiskey, 8 bottles of cider, and 7 giant bowls of punch. The final bar tab came out to 89 pounds, 4 shillings, and 2 pence. Converted into real money and adjusted for inflation, this adds up to roughly $17,523
The boys, dude.
for a single night of partying.
Partying like NBA players at All-Star
I
Weekend.
love it. You know what I figured out when I was in England? The rapper 50 Cent would be called 33 pence
Ah.
over there,
Pence.
just with the conversion.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
If he
go
goes to Vietnam, his name would be even funnier because their names, the name of their money is the dong. So it's a couple thousand dong. Aside from the bar tab itself, not much was documented about this particular party. Luckily, using our extensive network of connections in the underground world of stolen artifacts, we've secured the only known transcription of the events of this night. With the help of our guests, we will now reenact what we call the Great American Bender. To begin with, let us set the stage. The year is 1787. Between May 25th and September 17th, members of the Constitutional Convention revised the Articles of the Confederation to create a new framework for the government of the fledgling United States. The delegates elected George Washington, former commanding general of the Continental Army, as the first president. By the end of the convention, the Constitution of the United States has been created, making this one of the most important events in American history. The proposed reason for the meeting was to draft improvements to the Articles of Confederation. However, once the convention began, the delegates all agreed that the current system was pretty fucked. So over the course of the next 6 months, the architects of the United States began revising the guidelines for the greatest nation to ever grace God's green earth.
It's a learning show, so we're getting all the facts.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
shit
we're
out
getting
of
the learning out of the
Yeah.
way
Right
at
out
the
the
top
top.
because that's a boring shit, and then we're going to get to the fun shit.
Okay, great.
You want me to do just like a little America, America, God gave his son to thee.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be Jack fashion, where he just like keeps going.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh,
Oh,
no.
yeah.
Slow in the background.
Nah, I'm not on that Kaufman shit tonight. Not tonight.
Okay,
God
okay,
damn
okay.
it, we got you on the wrong day of the week then.
Yeah.
At the time of the convention, none of the delegates intended to create the Constitution. It was more the result of many brilliant minds debating the best way to govern a newly formed country. It was like a legislative Fish concert, but arguably more enjoyable to listen to. Imagine the Grateful Dead were jamming for months on end, and the final result wasn't the audio equivalent of waterboarding, but the drafting of the most effective governmental framework known to man.
Nice.
Which, I mean, arguably, that's
What about the Magna Carta?
okay, shit. Jack, I'm regretting having you on the show. All right, that's a good point.
That sets some precedence
What
there.
about the
I mean,
Magna
a little
Carta?
bit.
You know?
A little bit. But, okay, yeah, Jack's right. Fuck. I got to hang on. Give me a minute to rewrite this.
Should we
I'm gonna
just
have to
go
rewrite
home,
it in my
or?
Yeah.
head. Let's reconvene next week.
Okay.
I'll fix
All
this.
right. Well, that was cool.
That'll be
Thanks,
episode
Jack.
200.
Episode,
There you go,
episode
200.
200 is actually
About the-
correcting all of the
Yeah.
mistakes.
Perfect.
While the details of the Constitutional Convention could fill many episodes, today we will be focusing on the climax, that being the massive fucking party that they had on the Friday before the Constitution was finalized.
You know who was climaxing at that part? We know Franklin was.
Multiple times. I can't believe that Benjamin Franklin was a total fuckboy.
Yeah.
I mean, he
Oh,
was also
yeah.
a genius. but
Living
Jesus
proof
Christ,
that
he was a
personality
total
will get you
fuckboy.
laid.
Poon
Oh, God.
hound. Poon hound.
Maybe I'm the reincarnation of Benjamin Franklin because I definitely don't have the looks. Admittedly, some of the
don't get laid as
details
much,
of the... Oh, yeah, dude, nobody gets laid as much as Benjamin Franklin.
No.
Dude, that guy was fucking 24/7.
Dude, go to France, man. That's where he was really putting up numbers.
Ooh, there you go. You would kill in France.
Yeah.
Maybe they like the accent.
Well, all of it.
Just look like a stereotypical American like he would do, like wear FUBU or something.
Yeah.
thought I
He was
heard-
just like, I'm super American. What's up? And they're like,
I thought I already did look like a stereotypical American that you would find at a gay bar. Apparently, I've got like
You've
super...
got like a Hitler Youth vibes.
Well, no, the mustache is too big.
Flannel.
If I cut it off in the middle, that would be some...
Put on flannel, a nice pair of boots.
Some Wranglers.
Yeah.
That's
do you have good pheromones for the gay?
That's
for the
literally what I
gays?
wear every winter, though, is like flannels, long sleeve shirts, and boots, stuff
Oh,
like that.
perfect.
But yeah, I definitely do put off a really, really strong gay vibe because in a lot of places that I go to, I get hit on by gay guys, and on Instagram. Like I get hit up by more guys on Instagram than anything else.
Do the twinks like you?
I don't know. I
You
would
get
think
bears
that
and twinks.
I
Yeah.
think it's
I don't think I qualify as a bear though.
no.
you,
I
you
think
might be
it's
an otter, but still, you're masculine.
yeah, like
A
masculine.
baby bear.
But you
baby
seem like
bear.
like nice guy, very smart. So they're kind of like, look, maybe
Maybe he's a bear in the sheets.
because the dream is to turn a straight guy, right? So they're like, he's very
heard that.
masculine, but he's also very nice and just kind of
Because
like,
gay guys have the same kind of ego straight guys do.
absolutely, they're just all guys.
I can make
They're all
that.
guys.
I can make that lesbian want men again.
Right.
Oh,
So-
you know, fun story. I have turned 2 lesbians in the past, but in the opposite direction that you would imagine. 2 of my ex-girlfriends ended up being lesbians.
They were already lesbians.
Yeah,
Don't
you
take
know,
it personally.
yeah. Don't say.
Okay, no,
we,
I don't-
We don't
well,
like the
they were
turn.
going through the motions.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't taking it personally. Now I just feel like it's less of a notch in my belt than anything else. If they were already lesbians, I thought I actually made some major impact in
Oh,
their
okay.
lives.
I see.
I was the one that pushed them over the edge. They were like, "Okay, I'm going to try
It
a
was the
guy
straw.
one
They were
more
gonna
time."
try. They were gonna try
Like,
it. And they go,
yeah, this definitely isn't for me.
Nope. What feels better, right? What feels better that they were just like fully straight before, and then they
That's
were
a
like,
real. It's not. It's you. It's not me. It's
Yeah.
you situation.
yeah. I would. I
It
always
was
thought that
entirely
if
Coop's
like
fault.
if somebody
take
left me
credit for
or
it.
whatever, I would love to find out that they were gay. Do you know what I mean?
That would
'Cause
be
then
such
it's
a
just like
relief.
Oh, then it's not your
women are
fault.
always like, oh, and he was gay the whole time. It's like, yes, now you know, like all that
wasn't
shit.
personal.
Yes, all that shit that you were fighting about, all that whatever. It wasn't you. And as just inherently insecure species, like that's all we want. We just want to know it wasn't us.
Amen.
You know?
Okay, I feel a whole lot better
Amen.
thinking about it with them being.
They
let's say
fucked it all up because they were
batting for the other
lesbians.
team,
Sure.
And it wasn't anything that I did.
Right.
Yeah, you
'cause
were perfect. Nothing to work on. You were great.
Yes. Don't
Okay, see,
fix
that's what I tell
fix
myself.
anything,
Every
bud.
single
They were
morning when I
fucking
wake
lesbian,
up,
dude.
I go and I look at myself in the mirror. I'm like, you are perfect. Do not change anything about yourself.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with you. It's everybody else.
This
Yeah.
is something Clay and I always say. It's not us, it's them.
It's them. Oh, bud.
Oh, but
Oh,
it's not us. It's everybody else
Don't
that's
worry
wrong.
about what those damn lesbians said, right? They were just doing lesbo stuff, man.
What are you trying to impress Anna Gatsby? Good luck.
Good luck. Have fun.
So, admittedly, some of the details of the following story may not match up with historic accounts, but history is written by the victors, and nobody who took part in this tale is around to tell us we're wrong. So, I mean, honestly, fuck it.
Beautiful.
Our lead character is the first president of the United States and possessor of teeth only slightly worse than mine, George Washington.
Jesse Washington.
Jesse Washington. Sorry,
Jesse
Jesse Washington. Although apocryphal tales will have you believe that he had wooden teeth, this is actually false. Washington had dentures made from hippopotamus ivory and the teeth of dead slaves,
Yep,
which is
stole them right out of his slave's mouth.
Is that true?
Oh, yeah, that's real.
Why'd they say wood?
because
to like
it's a,
make him.
it's
yeah,
a
yeah,
whole lot
okay.
more
Yeah.
acceptable.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
Tell 'em
fake
it's
news.
wood.
Fake news all the way
Yeah.
back then, dude.
Because you don't want to tell 8-year-olds like he was ripping teeth out of his slaves' mouths.
Do you think he was even saying that? Do you know what I mean? Do you
There
think
wouldn't-
the
there wouldn't.
propaganda-wise back
At the
then
time,
it was
I
like,
don't
there
think-
would. Don't worry about it.
I don't think that he really had to like cover up the fact that he
Well,
was
maybe
a
he
slave
did because
owner
if there were slave teeth, that maybe that's like, back then,
Maybe it would be like
sort
a
of a
good
little
thing.
inappropriate to have slave wear.
I think they were
wait.
definitely, from what I understand, they were definitely cool with slavery.
They
So,
No, I
def-
mean like
they definitely
having
were. I
having
see what you're
something
saying,
that
though.
comes
It-
from a slave.
oh, gotcha.
So
in
that
your
would be getting a slave's teeth would be the modern day equivalent of ordering something off of Wish.com, whereas getting teeth from a really well respected white person would have been like
Got
going
you.
to
Yeah.
Got
going to
you.
the
Or like
Gucci
an
store.
ivory.
Yeah, these are
just
Thomas
the
Jefferson's.
ivory. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are what?
Thomas Jefferson's
History has
teeth.
been fucked up for so long. I dare say history has been fucked up throughout the entire course of history.
Yeah, we're just in another cycle of it.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Human behaviors. I'm not trying to get deep here, but human behavior's never been different. There's never been a time where there was some epic level of chivalry and honor. There's always been scoundrels.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Scoundrels. Yeah. There's always been scoundrels in power. It's never going to change.
Yeah,
It-
the idea that like just now people that have like we're just thinking like, oh my God, it's only these people that are in power with a bunch of money that aren't being real cool. Because back in the day, I mean, power, money equals real nice guy.
Yeah.
Right? Always. Always. So
All
it's
those
just
all those royal families came to power just by
by
naturally.
being, well, just by being real great and just caring about everybody, right? And they slowly just,
they were givers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
they-
gave their way all the way to the top. Isn't that how it works?
Well, as the old saying goes, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. It
Yes.
seems like everybody, as soon as they get rich and famous enough, they kind of turn into a shitbag because that's just the natural resting state for most humans. You really have to be trained to be a good person, because if you're just strictly acting off of your instincts, you're going to be a shitbag. That's just
Yeah.
kind of how humans are.
There just always has to be someone there to check you. That's all. Like no
Oh,
one can just like be because you're never going to decide to do the right thing, right?
That's way
when
too
you
hard.
have all the power and all the money, right?
It's way too hard
you
to do
need
the right
someone
thing. and-
else that is like of the people to be like real quick, don't.
It's hard to do the right thing when you're freaking poor.
You need someone of the people, by the people, for the people, as they say.
You said a couple things in the past couple minutes that I've always wanted to hear out of your mouth, right? the power absolute thing.
Yeah.
Haven't you always heard it in Coop's voice anyways? Anyway, go ahead.
The second leading character of our story shares with me two of my greatest passions, and I think everybody here will agree with me: MILFs and science. Love me some MILFs, love me some science.
True. Who doesn't?
This most likely means we also share similar mommy issues and lonely childhoods, but that's neither here nor there. History aficionados will know that I am referring to the one and only Benjamin Franklin.
Benjamin Franklin, dude.
Will be played today by the one and only Jack Manfred Mandaville I.
Ooh, Poonhound Franklin. Dude.
It is insane that he was that much of a fuckboy looking the way that he does. Like, I can't imagine any period in history where he was the ideal masculine specimen.
And the most brilliant one out of them all.
I was born in the wrong time because that's
your type.
my fucking
Holy
type,
shit.
dude. Like, I was born in the wrong time because I get all that shit. I
Dad
get
bod with the Jesse Ventura haircut?
Super powerful, doesn't give a fuck, fat, hair's whatever. You know what I mean? Like, that was
Messing with his trinkets in
there's
the garage.
something
A bunch of
sexy
skeletons
about
buried
that.
in his basement.
because he doesn't
And
care.
He didn't wear the wigs and shit, right? He was like, fuck
Nah,
that.
he wasn't into that. It was naturally already going out of style during that time.
Also, when he went to France, wasn't that one of the things that kind of set him apart and was inspirational to the French people to give more support to the American colonies?
He
was
played
the
up
fact
the
that
part of because he was relatively sophisticated guy, but he played up the part of the backwoods American for them.
it was almost like the backwoods cultured American, like being able to be intelligent while still rocking a
Spoke fluent
skull.
French, yeah.
Yeah, the guy was
Crazy.
he was honestly a fucking genius. Obviously a fucking
He,
genius.
that was probably the last true Renaissance era in American history. We've had some Renaissance people since then. Teddy Roosevelt, Elon Musk would qualify, but
Yeah,
that was
I'd
the
agree
last
with
era where there was like a number of individuals that were multi-talented and highly intellectual and super gifted.
I was
And
actually
they all came from money too, which sets you up for success.
Yeah, that definitely. The money
Yeah.
helps out.
It helps out.
quite
And then
a
another
bit.
thing, too, if you come from money and have always had money from a young child, pretty cool usually, right?
Yeah, got a lot
They're
of time
usually
to.
like pretty cool
Yeah.
dudes.
You can get into the arts and stuff without without worrying about where you're gonna eat.
Exactly. And you're
that-
always just super chill and awesome.
That was something that I was actually thinking about recently. Is the lack of overall Renaissance man in modern culture. It seems like everybody is kind of forced into being specialized, because back then there wasn't as much need for people that were extremely specialized in a specific talent. I mean, outside of things
like
like
vocation
blacksmiths
or
and-
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, if you were getting into the fledgling like STEM fields, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, you really didn't have as much to learn as you do nowadays, where now everybody's standing on the shoulders of giants. So you kind of have to specialize. If you try to learn everything, you're just going to be kind of good at every little thing. You're not going to be
Adams
an
could
expert.
farm and practice law, and Adams didn't need slaves either. He did it on his own like a big boy.
Did he?
Yeah, Washington could operate slaves and be a soldier at the same time. Yeah,
He was a terrible general also.
Yeah, he was in the British Army. It stood out a couple times, but he was like probably an average officer.
Yeah. From all the stories that I've heard, George Washington was more charismatic than anything else. Like, he was a good figurehead for what they were trying to do. But in terms of
from a
being a
family
general,
with
like he was one of the lowest performing generals in the Revolutionary War. Fled from a lot of battles, but did a lot of epic things that made him a good person to put out on the forefront.
Right.
He was the
whole
face.
reason, one of the major reasons he decided to join in the revolution was he felt slighted by the British Army because he was an American. They just weren't going to promote him to the level he thought he should be at. So he's like, "Fuck you! I'll go join the rebels."
I'll go find another job.
Yeah,
Fuck you
that's
guys.
basically what
You're not
it
giving
was.
me a raise.
Yeah.
Oh, man, the more things change, the more they stay the same. So this pioneer of Skalitz was not only an accomplished inventor, but also one of the greatest literary trolls in history, which is something else I
Benjamin.
love about Ben Franklin. His publication, Poor Richard's Almanac, is one of the greatest works of literary shitposting prior to the creation of the internet. And although records don't support our claims that Franklin was actually at this Friday night fuckfest we are about to reenact, I dare you to prove otherwise. I'm sure that somebody could probably prove that he wasn't actually there.
They might try, but we'll just block them.
Oh, yeah.
We'll cancel him.
We'll just cancel them. Soft cancel.
Serving as the right-hand man of George Washington is Thomas Proctor. Tommy Boy was one of the men who accompanied Washington on his legendary crossing of the Delaware River and wintered with the Continental Army at Valley Forge. With all due respect to the dead, for the sake of our story today, he will essentially be the modern equivalent of a fuckboy. And if he takes any issue with that, he can contact our agents.
Where's General Gamble?
Was Gamble there also?
Well, Proctor and Gamble.
There he is. There he is.
God damn it.
Oh my God.
Oh, this is why
Bottles are
I
flying.
love having Jack on
We
the show
need to
so
get
much.
to the script.
Let's
dude.
go.
Okay,
he
so
is
one
ready.
one
He's
last
hot.
one
He's in
one last
character.
paragraph, and then we're actually getting into the story itself. So rounding out our list of characters are the founders of American bromance, Thomas Jefferson and John Adams. Jefferson and Adams were the definition of frenemies. Over the course of their political careers, the two men were both allies and opponents. The two men held a mix of respect and contempt for one another for 50 years before they ultimately died on the same day, July 4th, 1826.
They're just like us.
It is said that John Adams' last words were, and I quote, "Thomas Jefferson survives, but unbeknownst to him, Jefferson had died earlier that day."
So John Adams lived longer.
By a matter of
hours?
hours, like 4 or 5 hours or something like that.
Sweet.
Jackie, you got any info on...
Yeah, Jefferson basically started his own newspaper just to talk shit about John Adams when he was president.
That's awesome.
So good. Those were the
That's
days.
like that's like the modern version of making like a fake troll
Well, that-
Instagram account just to make fun
Well,
of
that
someone.
though,
It was like starting
the
a
idea
blog
that
just
we
to talk
live in
shit
this
about someone.
era of politicized, Fox and CNN, and it's all politicized. I'm like, it's always been politicized.
It's always been.
Like again, Jefferson started his own newspaper just so
Just to
he could
fuck with
fucking
John
run.
Adams.
Yeah.
It's like Bezos buying Washington Post, right?
Yeah.
It's like so that he can get his,
get his shit out.
talk
there.
shit about people that are trying to put any restrictions or sanctions on what he's doing.
If podcasts existed back then Jefferson would have started a podcast just to talk
Oh,
shit.
Absolutely.
Adams probably would have also.
If fucking Twitter existed with John Adams would make Donald Trump look like the most humble man on earth. He'd be fucking tweeting every 5 minutes. That guy loved to hear himself
Love
talk.
it.
This episode of the Iconoblast podcast is brought to you by Simply Safe. So here's a question. Is there anything more precious than the safety of you and your loved ones?
Oh, hell no, dog.
Of course not, because you're not a fucking monster. So isn't it strange that not all home security companies truly put you first?
Yeah.
Old school home security companies set you up with outdated technology, overcharge you for service, and lock you into binding multi-year contracts.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Binding can be okay sometimes, it just depends on if it's consensual. This is non-consensual. That's why we here at the Iconoblast podcast use Simply Safe Home Security.
Yeah.
Simply Safe protects you with cutting-edge security technology powered by 24/7 professional monitoring agents who always have your back. As many of you know, Joel and I helped install a Simply Safe home security system at Medal of Honor recipient Dakota Meyer's house, and if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for anyone.
Yeah.
With around-the-clock professional monitoring, Simply Safe agents call you the moment a threat is detected and dispatch police or first responders in an emergency, even if you're not home.
Yeah.
I wish they had something like that for dogs, so they can tell when my dogs are about to chew something up in my house and send somebody over there to stop them.
Your 3 dogs.
3 fucking dogs now.
Glad you admitted it.
Simply, it's 2.5 technically. 2.5. Because I'm trying to get rid of the third one, no matter how much I don't want to. Simply Safe blankets your home in protection with advanced sensors in every room, window, and door. They have HD security cameras for inside and outside your home, and even hazard sensors that detect fires, floods, and other threats.
T1000s.
And T1000s. Ethan Hunt and Danny Ocean couldn't even beat a security system like this. Their monitoring experts use proprietary advanced response technology to visually confirm when a break-in is real, so you can get the highest priority police dispatch.
Yeah.
What is this new character that you're doing?
No, I'm
just
just
the
stoked,
hype
dude.
man?
Just stoked.
Customize the perfect system for your home in just a few minutes at simplysafe.com/icon. Go today and claim a free indoor security system plus 20% off with interactive monitoring.
Icon.
Go to simplysafe.com/icon because there's no safe like Simply Safe.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Policy Genius. Every year, people pay hundreds of dollars to protect their homes, their cars, and even their phones. But what about protecting your families? Mortgage payments, student loans, and other types of debt don't just disappear if something happens to you, no matter how much you wish they did. That's why you need life insurance. You may already have life insurance through your job, but most people need up to 10 times more coverage to properly provide for their families. Not to mention, that coverage from your work isn't portable. You quit your job, your coverage is gone.
Toast.
This is where Policy Genius can help. Policy Genius is an insurance marketplace that makes it easy to compare quotes from top companies like AIG and Prudential in one place to find your lowest price on life insurance. You could save 50% or more
Policy Genius.
on life insurance just by comparing quotes with Policy Genius. Options start at just $17 per month for $500,000 worth of coverage. No wonder people commit insurance fraud. They take life insurance policies out on somebody, $17 a month, and you get $500,000 in return.
Not bad.
I'm not encouraging that.
We don't condone that behavior.
Do not condone that. I'm just saying it's understandable how historically people have done that. Just go to policygenius.com/icono, ICONO, to get your personalized quotes in minutes and find the right policy for your needs. The licensed agents at Policy Genius work for you, not the insurance companies. These people are looking out for you, not for themselves. They're on hand through the entire process to help you understand your options so you can make decisions with confidence. Policy Genius doesn't add extra fees. They don't sell your personal information to third parties, and they have options that offer coverage in as little as a week without unnecessary medical exams. So you're not going to need anybody to touch you down south to get life insurance. No. Head to policygenius.com/icono, that's ICONO, to get your free life insurance quotes and see how much you can save. And last but not least, we have Ghostbed.
Fuck yeah.
We love Ghostbed, and we've all made love on a Ghostbed. All of us. Together. Everybody at the studio, we're all kind of swingers. Not only have they been a loyal sponsor of the Drinkin' Bros for over 69 months, they have the most comfortable mattresses you will ever sleep on, and the most comfortable mattresses that you can do a 69 on.
Yeah.
Every mattress has a 20-year warranty, some even have 25, and you can try it out for 101 nights, which is more time than you need to realize that these are the best mattresses ever made in the history of mankind.
That's 40 more days than 69.
At least. If for some reason during that...
Is that math right?
What, are you talking about 69
101
months?
days.
101 days, that would be just... that would be...
30? No, that would be 30.
Don't make me do the math right now. Please don't make me do
Yeah,
the math
it'd
right
be
now.
30.
No, it'd be 31.
31.
31 days more than 69. And if I'm wrong, don't correct me because I don't fucking care. One of our favorite things about Ghostbed is that each mattress has cooling technology in it. So if you live in the South like we do, or if you have a lot of hot bodies in your bed,
Lots of hot bodies.
these things are a lifesaver.
Lifesaver, yeah.
Ghostbed also offers bundles so you can get everything you need and you don't even really have to think about it. Just choose from one of their 4 mattresses, then pick your bundle.
Don't think about it.
Don't think about it. Do not think, just do it. Go to Ghostbed, buy a mattress. Use the promo code Drinkin' Bros. You are not going to regret it. If you do regret it, hit me up personally. Come out to Austin.
Don't
I'll fight
regret
you.
it.
I'll have Joel fight you.
Joel will fight you.
So whether you just want the mattress and frame or you want it all, like their amazing pillows and sheets, you will always get the best bang for your buck. And again, if you want a good bed to bang on, that's a Ghostbed. Right now, Ghostbed is offering 40% off Ghostbed bundles where you get a mattress and adjustable base, or 30% off. That's what I said, 40% off.
Yes.
Or 30% off your entire order when you use the promo code Drinkin' Bros at ghostbed.com/Drinkin' Bros.
40 off the base, 30 off everything.
Get the base. Get the adjustable base. It is the biggest flex ever.
Order the base by itself, get the 40% off, then buy all the other shit and get that 30% off. Boom.
Ooh, yeah.
Double down.
You can buy a mattress for around $35 per month, and they have no money down, 0% financing plans for up to 60 months. 60 months is a long goddamn time.
That's 9 short of 69.
Go check it. You're better at math than I am. Go check it out at ghostbed.com/Drinkin' Bros. Ghostbed. Sleep so good, it's scary.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're going to get into the story itself.
Here we go.
All right, you guys ready? You all in character?
We're in character. You need to say that we haven't seen this.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
yeah.
is just for everybody listening at home. This is a cold read.
Yeah,
Jack and
in
Jesse
the
have
Hollywood lingo. It's called a cold read, which
Yeah.
means they have not read or seen the script at all.
Right.
Yeah, like all those fucking asshole actors were doing during COVID, just reading over old scripts and shit on Zoom calls.
It's like
Right.
that. Yeah.
that's
they've
essentially what we're
seen
doing
those
today, but it's
before.
actually going to be good.
This is like, we're going to try some accents. They might be
They
there
might
in
change.
the beginning. They might not be there at the end. We don't know.
The fun of the episode is going to be needing to find the character in the moment without having a lot of time to prepare for it. You just got to
Right.
go with your gut
And then
instinct.
finally
whatever
getting
feels
comfortable with it right at the end.
right. right when the
Right
when
when
the story's
it's time
over.
to end. Yeah.
And we'll use that clip for the promo.
Yeah.
Friday, September 14th. George Washington proudly strides from Independence Hall. A bald eagle rests on his shoulder, majestically surveying its surroundings. Washington takes a moment to strike a heroic pose at the top of the stairs. The eagle on his shoulder spreads its wings and lets out a long, patriotic cry. People passing by stop in their tracks to observe the astounding sight. They spontaneously begin to chant,
USA! USA! USA!
Having made his point, Washington makes his way to the busy street below. As he descends the steps, he is approached by a large, grizzled-looking fellow wearing a military uniform. Upon locking eyes with Washington, the man smiles and extends his hand.
George, you son of a bitch.
Tommy boy, T-Money, bring it in, brother. Am I on? I mean, is it?
That was
That's
good.
perfect.
That's
Okay,
probably
great.
Go with
exactly
that.
what he sounded
okay,
like.
great,
Go with that.
Great.
The two men grip one another's hands firmly. A brief test of strength follows, almost as if the men are arm wrestling. Their biceps bulge underneath their coats, stretching the material to its limits and causing nearby women to swoon. Washington gives a little ground, bringing a slight smile to Proctor's face. He glances down at Washington's massive, quivering bicep.
What's the matter, George? Has the cavalry got you pushing too many feathered pencils?
Washington smiles and finally shows his true strength. His hand clamps down on Proctor's, shattering the bones with a wet crunch.
Are you adding Foley?
Yeah, I just did some
Okay,
Foley.
okay.
Yeah, we might need to do that
We
on the
might
fly.
have to do it
Yeah.
after, but yeah.
The men both laugh and step back. Colonel Proctor reaches up with his newly mangled hand and gently strokes Washington's cheek.
As always, you never knew when to quit. My big, strong general.
Quitting is for quitters. I quit quitting years ago, dude. Yes, or
That's good.
am
I
I in
think
the era?
It's damn good to see you, George. The 1st Regiment hasn't been the same without you.
Colonel Proctor motions for Washington to follow him, and the two men begin walking down the street. The throngs of pedestrians part to clear a path for them, and any poor soul unable to move quickly enough is roughly shoulder-checked to the ground. Washington whistles to the bald eagle on his shoulder, and it takes to the air. It flies to a man smoking a cigar nearby and deftly plucks it from his mouth. In one smooth motion, the eagle lands on Washington's shoulder and places the cigar in the general's mouth. Washington takes a long drag and stares into the middle distance.
We fucking did it, Georgie. We liberated America.
I know. I was there.
He's smoking the cigar.
I mean, props? Did you tell me to bring props? I brought props. Right now, the only liberating I'm thinking about is liberating some wenches from their chastity. All the recent debating has made me wicked horny, dude. Washington was cool, right?
He was cool as fuck,
Yeah,
dude.
dude, I'd fucking party with him. Sorry, go.
I'm one step ahead of you, Georgie boy. Once I heard the Constitution was finished, I knew you were going to need to let off some steam. So I reached out to an old friend.
Oh, by the way, Ruben, anytime that Colonel Proctor has a line in the Arnold Schwarzenegger voice, you do
Ruben
have to
has
drink for that.
Yeah.
This is all to get Ruben fucking
Yeah.
wasted.
We're going to kill him on this episode.
Yeah,
we are
yeah.
for sure going to kill him on
Yeah,
this
yeah.
episode.
He's from Pittsburgh, so luckily
Oh, you're
he's
right.
got the tolerance.
Proctor motions towards the street, and as if on cue, the crowd of filthy peasants parts to reveal a stretch carriage with spinner rims and tinted windows. Music and laughter can be heard from within. A pair of topless elderly women pop out from the sunroof, their withered, saggy titties swaying in the breeze like pendulums. The back door of the limousine carriage swings open, releasing a billowing cloud of pungent smoke. A balding man with spectacles stumbles from the carriage, coughing and laughing as he falls to the ground. It's the one and only Benjamin Franklin, and he's fucking hammered.
Hey, what's up, founding fathers? You boys ready to fucking rage?
Perfect.
As he finishes his sentence, Franklin pulls out his uncircumcised phallus and begins to pee on the sidewalk.
Benny, you granny loving son of a bitch! I thought you were in Paris. Is it Italian? That was a little Italian, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. I
Okay.
mean, Washington
Italian's
might have
cool.
been Italian.
He could have been.
He could have been. We don't know. We don't know.
Washington grabs Franklin by the shoulders and spins him so they are facing each other. Franklin's bountiful golden stream does not abate. The two men greet one another with an intricate handshake, ending with a bro hug, all while Franklin is still emptying his bladder. Washington doesn't acknowledge the urine that has just been unleashed on his pants and shoes. Franklin sways back and forth, his eyes unfocused, and motions towards the carriage.
Climb in, gentlemen. We must hang together, for we will surely be hung over separately.
Perfect.
As Washington begins to climb into the carriage, Franklin stops him by placing a hand on his chest. The bespectacled Franklin reaches into his pocket and produces a box of magnum-sized condoms. His words are slurred and difficult to understand.
A word of warning, my good friend. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail.
I did not lay my life on the line in the name of freedom just to once again be constricted by the latex fist of tyranny, bro. There is no glory without risk.
That's right, dog.
Washington slaps the box out of Franklin's hand. Franklin doesn't even seem to notice.
Now come, my good men. Let us raw dog these filthy whores in the... Take it again. Let me take it. Cut. Okay, go. You're not going to cut, though.
Cut this out.
But
No,
you're not going to
we're not
cut.
cutting.
Okay, but you're not cutting. Okay. Oh, come, my good men. Let us raw dog these filthy whores in the name of liberty.
Benjamin slaps his slave driving the carriage in the back of the head as a sign to move the carriage along. Although this may seem harsh, let us not forget that all of these men did, in fact, own slaves. Elsewhere, a shadowy figure leans against a brick wall. He looks left, then right, as if to make sure no one is watching. From his left pocket, he pulls out a thick, tasty joint. He licks his lips and tucks it underneath his giant mustache. From his right pocket, he pulls out a Zippo lighter. The first Zippo ever made, created from a combination of gold nuggets and horse testicles. I'll give you one guess who wrote that paragraph. Okay, so side note, Zippos were first invented in 1933 by the Zippo Manufacturing Company in Bradford, Pennsylvania. To date, they have produced more than 500 million lighters. Fun fact, Zippo lighter was the first thing I ever shoplifted on my very first trip to California when I was about 10 years old, because I have been a dirtbag for a long fucking time.
And you're not stopping anytime soon,
No,
motherfucker.
can't stop, won't stop. The sexy, horny, mysterious man lights the joint, illuminating his face for only a moment. It's Thomas motherfucking Jefferson. He takes a massive rip off the doobie and exhales a thick cloud of cotton. The sound of hooves draws his attention to the street just in time to see a stretch carriage come to a stop. He would have recognized that thing anywhere. His boys had arrived, and not a moment too soon.
Yes.
The stretch carriage pulls up outside the hottest club in Philadelphia, known as the City Tavern. The back door swings open, once again releasing a billowing cloud of smoke. Washington, Proctor, and Franklin stagger out, laughing and coughing. The worn-out old whores in the carriage wave at them from the sunroof, their saggy bosoms swaying like old socks filled with loose change. All right, who wants to be the old whores?
We love you, Frankie. Don't forget to text me on paper.
Well, fear not, you old hoes. As I've always said, there's no good war and no bad peace of ass.
If Benjamin
It's
Franklin
really
sounded
evolving.
like this,
It's really evolving into like the most perfect Benjamin
If
Franklin.
Benjamin Franklin
of
sounded
all
like that,
time.
he would have actually been president at some point.
Ah, shit.
You know they do cunnilingus over there in France and shit.
Oh, shit, I heard about
Go to
that.
France, man. They be licking each other out there.
It's obvious Benjamin Franklin loves women, especially the older ones. Much like an old worn-out pair of shoes, they aren't much to look at. But once you slip inside of them, it feels so good their appearance doesn't even matter. Obviously, the smell is an issue, but the more pungent the cheese, the finer the taste. Benjamin takes a final puff off his cigar as George finishes off his as well.
Who wrote that last one?
I didn't come up with a voice for Jefferson.
it's a pirate.
These cigars don't get me high anymore, Ben. I don't feel anything anymore. I fear life may no longer be worth living, hombre. You know what I mean, though?
Bitch, get some alcohol in you.
That's what I'm saying, dude. This shit, I just like, it's just not good anymore. It's scary.
Are you waiting for me to improv or something?
Who's Thomas Jefferson?
I know. I didn't come up with the fuck. Okay, so a
voice
voice
chimes
chimes in
in.
from nearby. Funny you should mention that.
Is he the dork? Who brought the door?
Fucking ginger dumbass. You fucking ponytail ginger
Fucking
dumb shit.
narc, dude. Narc. Okay, good. Narc.
The stranger blows a thick cloud of dank chronic in their general direction. George turns towards the familiar sultry voice, as if in slow motion.
I know that voice, but I know not that smell.
It's his eye, Thomas Jefferson. And this is fucking weed, bro.
Dude, like he's being cool, but he sounds like a fucking narc, dude. Just be cool. Go, go, go.
All right.
Benjamin is
Aye.
quick to pluck the joint from Jefferson's hand.
T to the motherfucking J. You jungle fever having motherfucker. What are you smoking?
Yes, I found that my tenants were growing this out behind their homes.
Tenants? You mean slaves?
No need for semantics, my good friend. When you smoke it the same way you smoke tobacco, you get high as angels' pussy. It's delightful. It goes great with booze, or morning breakfast, or having sex with your tenants.
I'm pretty sure you mean slaves, you ginger dumb shit.
Semantics, my good friend. Now hit this fat blunt.
Oh!
Sorry.
The three forefathers share the joint and pass around a flask. Thomas takes the final hit off the roach, drops it, and steps on it. Oh, yeah, that's good shit. Benjamin is deep in thought.
Is he stoner
Yeah,
talking
he's
right now?
Yeah, he's
Okay.
stoned.
I mean, I would hope we're all fucking stoned at this point, right?
I do believe there's something special about that moment before you enter your favorite bar with your favorite friends. And I do believe it is special indeed. So special, in fact, that I have decided it deserves a name. A name all of its own.
Crushing it.
I know. Getting killed by Jack, dude.
Benjamin jumps on a wooden crate and puts his hands on his hips. He pulls out his pocket watch to see the time. Washington and Proctor, both high as giraffe balls, stare at the potato of a man and giggle to themselves. Benjamin clears his throat.
Damn, that's good shit. My good fellas, brothers and future lovers, drunkards and weed smokers alike. From this day forth, getting drunk and high before entering an establishment that charges exorbitant amount of prices for drinks will now and forevermore be called pre-gaming.
Oh, shit. I like it, dude. I like it.
All of the filthy peasants meandering along the street begin to clap and cheer at the concept presented by Franklin. No longer would they be forced to suffer the ridiculously overpriced drinks served at bars.
Cool. Sorry. I was reading ahead. Cheating.
Don't read ahead. It's a cold read.
Cheating. Okay. Now get your fat ass down from there, Ben. It's hard not to do his voice, huh?
He is
Right? Like
fucking
it's like I'm like, it's hard
outshining
not to get that fat ass down from there. Okay.
You can
Now get
you
your
can
fat ass
adjust the
down from
character.
there, Ben. You go and hurt yourself before the real partying begins.
Oh, dude.
Tonight shall be a night to partially remember and most likely regret. Boom, boom.
The three men enter the city tavern, shoulder to shoulder, arm to arm, jolly old fools, and are greeted by a chorus of cheers.
Yeah.
Woo! Yeah.
Others.
George Washington's American bald eagle flies over the crowd and takes a shit on an innocent bar patron. Franklin,
What the fuck?
Oh, shit.
Franklin deftly makes his way through the crowd, shaking hands and giving high fives, with Washington and Proctor trailing behind. They arrive at a private booth near the back and take their seats. As they settle in, Franklin looks up and notices a gangly man on the far side of the bar. He groans in annoyance.
God damn. Who the fuck let Quaker Sam in?
Shit, be cool. I still owe him money from the constitutional after party.
I thought this was the constitutional after party.
We're creating the greatest country on earth. There's gonna be a lot of parties, okay? Slow your roll.
So, what is the constitutional after party?
It's when we all get drunk after writing the Constitution. We didn't invite you, my good friend, and for this, I wish for your forgiveness. Wait, take it again. Am I talking to him? He's not invited.
Yeah,
I didn't invite him?
Yeah, you're talking.
Not
You're talking
to
to
the,
him
not
directly.
to the previous
to
constitutional
Benjamin.
after party.
Yeah.
To the first
It's
one,
when we
right
get
after.
drunk after writing the Constitution.
And you're super high.
Okay. It's when we all get drunk after writing the Constitution. We didn't invite you, my good friend, and for this, I wish for your forgiveness. The next round is on me. We didn't want you writing and perverting jokes into the fucking Constitution because you know how
So-
you are, dude.
Yeah, I like them dick and fart jokes.
So, side note, Benjamin Franklin was excluded from writing the Declaration of Independence because the other founding fathers were worried he would actually write jokes into the document.
That's why I get.
he's fucking
I'm not
badass.
invited to the writer's room a lot at Black Rifle. They're like, we're not even gonna bother with him. He's just gonna fucking deteriorate this
Do
process.
they want less jokes?
No, it's just my style probably isn't good for the brand at times. Most of the times. Yeah.
I personally, I feel like the Declaration of Independence probably would have benefited from a few jokes in there.
Can
just
you
to
fucking imagine?
make things a little bit more interesting?
But there'd be some guy on Fox screaming about how it was sacred work. Like he wouldn't get the joke. Like this fucking country, according to the Constitution, was founded on doo-doo caca. All right, it says so right there. This is a doo-doo caca nation.
I do have to say real quick, like Benjamin Franklin is shaping up to be
I love him.
exactly my. I mean, he's just getting better and better in my book. Do you know what I mean?
I
Like,
am
I was like,
into
oh,
it.
he's a poonhound. How did that happen? I see how it happened.
He was a
Do you know what I
goddamn
mean? 100%.
Straight up fucking
He's a
pimp
funny
player.
guy.
He's a funny guy. He doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
George Washington was like the annoying fucking constantly trying to.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Fuck.
seems
In love
kinda
with
like
his wife.
Right.
he's
Ooh.
jockey and
Fucking
douchey kind
nerd.
of.
Yeah.
Well, he had the pretty face. He was the face of America, not necessarily the brain of America.
Just don't smile, George.
Yeah. Whoops.
Show off those cheap knockoff ass teeth.
Yeah.
The nerdy-looking man, Samuel Miles,
Can I use
notices.
Samuel Miles?
Yes.
Yes,
have to
please.
be.
The nerdy-looking man, Samuel Miles, notices Washington and his crew. His face lights up. He waves excitedly as he attempts to make his way through the crowd. The revelers hardly notice his presence, jostling him around and causing him to spill most of his drink. Sam arrives at the table and greets them enthusiastically.
Hi, fellas. Great party, right?
Right, I'll get the next round. Hey, Sam, you want a drink?
Oh, yeah. That'd be great, dude. Just a glass of cider for me, though. Thank you.
You have a tab going?
Oh, yes, sir.
Cool. I'll bring you something.
Jefferson's
Thomas gets up from the
fucking
table and heads to the
crazy, dude.
bar, leaving George, Ben, and Colonel Proctor to deal with Samuel Miles. Colonel Proctor looks up at dingbat Samuel Miles with disdain.
What are you still doing here?
Samuel Miles has extremely feminine body language and voice patterns, which is totally cool, obviously. Personally, I believe everyone should fuck whomever they want. Any port in a storm, as they say. Not judging, just making an observation.
Do you want to switch up the character's voice now that you've described the character?
Dude,
That's up
just,
to you.
Just play it however you feel it. Play it how you feel it.
Oh, Mr. Proctor, stop it. I came here to celebrate y'all.
That's pretty nice of you, but unfortunately, there's nowhere for you to sit at this time.
Proctor, behave yourself. Samuel, you can sit. It's fine.
Oh, no problem, sir. I can stand.
Proctor shrugs it off and looks over at the bar. Thomas Jefferson has made his way to the bar and is ordering drinks. The bartender looks kind of hot for an older woman, and we all know how to feel about older women. Sure,
Triggered.
they're worn out and have more baggage than the Orient Express, but that is the cost of experience.
Jesus Christ.
Maybe you have to take care of their kids or deal with their ex-husbands, but that is the cost of doing business.
Fucking attack.
Besides,
right now,
if you
dude.
take a long, hard look at yourself, it's not like you can do much better. If you could, you wouldn't be going after single mothers. Anyway, back to the story.
There's some deep personal stuff in
Yeah,
that
there's some,
paragraph
like,
there.
pointed-
Coop.
we wrote this together.
I didn't write that
I
paragraph.
mean, we discovered this historic
Yeah.
document
Yeah,
together.
yes.
Hey, Benjamin Frankie, did you see the bartender over there? She seems totally your style.
I need
But
to
yours is getting fucking awesome.
upgrade my spectacles, my dear Proctor. From that distance, I cannot tell her feature, dear boy.
Sleazy, athletic, voluptuous, and demure.
But what of her age?
Oh my god. Why did you guys have me here? Are you like trying to tell me something?
What?
Go.
What?
George Washington pulls out his fancy cocaine satchel.
Oh, yeah.
The type of cocaine satchel
you know I
reserved for a
did.
man. The type of cocaine satchel reserved for a man that helped create the greatest country ever known. If sunglasses existed, he would be wearing them indoors.
Boys. There will be plenty of time for love later, but now, as we wait for our drinks, let us powder our noses. I don't know who's more annoying.
I am
George
loving
is incredible.
everything about this.
George Washington is the pretty boy, annoying as fuck. Bro in the bar. And I know him well. Let's go.
While the first president of the United States and friends snort fat rails of the devil's dandruff, Jefferson orders drinks. Washington's,
Georgie, that was a pretty big rail you just did there.
Washington's beautiful, magnificent American bald eagle with huge fucking talons that could rip apart the most communist of commies flies around the room and shits on another innocent bar patron. The bartender has a strange accent, not of these parts. He must be the hot bartender. Jessie, hot bartender?
See what would be the accent. Not of these parts.
Yeah, just don't do an Asian accent.
Oh, no, I will not. Oh, wait, that's like you.
Wait, no, I like where you're going with that.
Okay, because maybe you like me, right? Hey, Tom. Hey, Tom, the usual?
But I like that because it's not Arnold. Like it's
Right,
It's,
Yeah.
You know, you're doing more. You've got a good. You're more Northern German. You're doing more Bavarian.
Is it German?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought maybe Ukraine, a little Russian, or you know,
yeah.
with mixed in with the Pittsburgh,
Some of that is white.
right?
It even just says a strange
Like if I
accent.
say
not of these
if I say
parts.
hoagie,
Hoagie.
it comes out. Go ahead.
Thomas nods. The hot bartender begins to pour 4 American beers and 4 American shots. A familiar hand rises from behind the bar and slaps the bartender on the ass.
John, knock it off or you'll have to be on your way. I'm also making her a character that's not a good actress. So, like, there's a couple of different layers that I'm doing there.
I thought I heard. It started
I don't
Eastern
know.
European. I'm like, is she in Spain now?
No, I don't know. She's of the world.
Not of these parts.
Not
That's
of
all.
these
Not of
parts.
these parts. Not of these
It still
parts.
fits.
But
You're still nailing it.
it's just combine everything. Basically, be Filipino. Combine
There we
everything.
go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Filipina. Yeah.
Filipina.
Yeah.
X.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
just
Fili-
everything combined.
Filipino.
I think it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
Wait, you're John Adams, right, Joel?
Yep.
Thomas leans over the bar. Lo and behold, as always, John Adams lays there in his finest suit, drunk as shit, sipping from the first ever bottle of Jim Beam and taking a peek up the bartender's skirt.
Oh, hey, Thomas, you piece of shit.
John, if I didn't respect you, I'd have thrown you out of this establishment immediately.
Wouldn't it have been great if we could have just had Paul Giamatti cameo as John Adams? For this?
Wouldn't it be
Just-
great?
Yeah.
Amazing.
That would have been
He
good.
was the best.
Hasn't been doing much. He might be a little bit easier to get nowadays than he was back in his, back in
I
his
think he's
prime.
got that TV show that he's right.
He's doing a TV show now?
That's a suit.
John. Oh.
Paul Giamatti.
Yeah. Is he on that HBO fucking agent?
He's like a bad guy or
bullshit?
something like
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
He plays really good bad guys.
Can I have my own show on the network just called the Paul Giamatti Hour? And we
Oh my
just
God,
talk about
tell
Paul
me about
Giamatti.
it. Tell me
Yeah.
everything.
I would
No, we
like,
just
I
talk
would
about Paul
like to hear this
Giamatti
pitch.
every week.
Now, could we do something like this? There was a podcast way back in the day called You Talkin' You Two to Me. I'm sure that I told you guys about this. And it was Adam Scott and the guy from Comedy Bang Bang. But anyways, it was called You Talkin' You Two to Me. And they would be like almost getting to talking about U2. So they'd be like, we're about to get into, this album.
Oh,
and
this,
the
yeah.
cold open would just go the entire, sorry, we didn't have time to talk about U2 today. And every episode, it didn't last that long, but to me, it was fucking brilliant.
That is
and
fuck-
this,
that is
yes, and
brilliant.
so
We do that
maybe
on
we do a
accident
Giamatti.
sometimes.
Today we're getting into Giamatti's best work, whatever, and we just cold open until we run out of time. Oh, sorry. So next
shit.
week we are gonna for sure get into Giamatti, right? I don't know. I'm into it. Carry on.
Holy shit, that is
If
fucking,
anyone can
that
do
is
it, it'd be-
brilliant.
Right? If anyone can do it, it'd be Jack.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I've always wanted to do a show like that because everyone I tell is like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, I know, because no one listened, but it was so fucking, and it culminated in them interviewing U2.
Oh my
for
God.
the
No
last
way.
fucking episode.
Oh
and it was
my
the
God.
first time
No
that
fucking
they
way.
ever fucking talked about U2. It was like
Oh my
episode
God.
25, 30, something like this.
And then they were done.
They had that planned from day one.
Brilliant. It was fucking brilliant.
That is fucking astounding.
I know, but people
is
don't like
next level
brilliance. So did
performance.
it
No.
work out? No.
No, they want fucking.
They want fucking
They want weekend
in
update.
your face,
Yeah.
flashy bullshit. Anyway, Sorry.
Oh,
but I'm into it.
I feel like less of a man just after hearing about that because that is some next level shit.
I know.
Oh, hey, Thomas, you piece of shit.
No, we're already.
Where are we?
Just
okay.
backing it up a little.
Oh, okay. Taking it back. Taking it back.
John, if I didn't respect you, I'd have thrown you out of this establishment immediately.
Someone has to pay for that bottle. Is that Filipino? No.
It's a hint of it. It's a hint of it.
Okay.
It's
okay,
perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, you've got Eastern Europe,
Yep.
Western Europe, some Filipina in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cultural.
Yeah.
She's not from these parts.
It fits the character perfectly
You
because
don't know
she is
where she's
ethnically
from, guys.
ambiguous.
Yeah.
Every line is going to be a different country.
It's a trip around the world through
Yes.
accents.
Yes.
Put it on Samuel Miles' tab, thanks. Now get up, you fool, and help me carry these drinks. Thomas and John.
Oh,
Forgot, this is a.
interesting.
I know who wrote this part. Thomas and John, secretly homosexual life partners, carry the 4 drinks and 4 shots back over to the table.
Twist.
So this is where we were going to get to some facts about John Adams and Thomas Jefferson, and I was hoping that Jack could help me fill in some of the
It
blanks.
literally
in
says,
there.
Jack, help me fill this in. I didn't know about this till now.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a
But
cold read. You just
that's
got to
how
go with
much
it.
faith
So
they
Thomas,
have in you.
correct me if I'm wrong. Thomas Jefferson was the one that was elected president, and then John Adams was his vice president.
No,
the
Jefferson
reverse?
was John Adams' vice president,
Oh, okay.
and then
John Adams was
usurped the shit out of him, and it became the 3rd president after Adams.
So the way that it used to work is the person who got the most popular votes would become president,
Second
and the
place
person
was
who
vice
got
president.
the second most
Which-
votes would be vice president.
Right, which
Sounds
obviously that
awesome.
system created situations like that
Right,
where
right.
Yeah.
they'd be shitty towards each other. But they couldn't have been. They couldn't have been more opposite of each other.
Imagine if Trump was the vice president of Joe Biden right now.
Yeah, it'd be
Holy
fucking.
Fucking
Oh,
crazy.
you're
fucking-
right. Okay,
yeah.
okay.
I
Got it,
can see
got
why
it.
they changed the system.
Yeah. For a second, I was like, "Oh, that would make sense."
Yeah, you need kiss asses like Mike Pence to be your
Yeah.
vice
Yeah,
president.
it,
Yeah,
it would be
Right.
good for a reality show, but not in reality.
Right.
It'd be kind of a pain in the ass.
Vice
I-
president needs to be more of a co-signer for your bullshit.
Yeah.
I do think that an interesting way to rule is the way that the Spartans did it, because the Spartans actually had 2 kings at the same time, and they would have to debate ideas and come to a conclusion. One of them would kind of take the lead, similar to a consul and a proconsul in Rome, or like they had co-consuls
that
in the Roman Republic.
Yeah.
And one of them would take the lead for like a month, and then the other one would take the lead for like a month.
give him a
and then-
breather.
It was like a series of checks and balances where, so you can do whatever you want for a month, but you got to make sure that you don't do too much and piss the other guy off, because he's going to be in charge for a month, and if you fuck him over next month, he's going to fuck you over. So it was like
Mutually
mutually
assured
assured destruction.
Yeah. That's
I don't know.
well, in all
That
accounts,
sounds scary.
Adams
Then it got
was
scary
a
towards the
good like he was a very loyal. He stayed in his lane when he was vice president to Washington. Then he became president, and Jefferson did not stay in his lane. Jefferson liked to voice himself openly with the newspaper he created just to talk shit about John Adams.
Aforementioned.
Yeah.
He did that.
And he won. Yeah, but they were opposite guys. Jefferson came from generational Virginia agricultural wealth. He too, like
Jesse, stop reading ahead.
he too, like Franklin, was very interested in science and world affairs. He's a very learned guy, but slave owner. Where Adams was fundamentally against slavery. He was from Massachusetts. He was a man of the law. Did a little farming for fun, but he was a lawyer, and he had a practicing Christian. This idea that our founding fathers were these Christians is absolute bullshit. Adams was pretty much the only one that was an actual practicing Christian. All the rest
That's
of them
crazy. I didn't
either
know that.
didn't
Yeah,
give a
we were
shit,
having
or
a-
a lot of them openly mocked religion.
We were having a conversation about that before the show, and I had no idea that was the case. But like I was saying earlier, it does make sense that that's why there's the separation of church and state, because it's not supposed to be a government founded on a singular, particular religion.
And I'm sure it's because they were like not that into it. They were
They were-
like,
yeah.
look, we're gonna separate this because you peasants can use this
Because they were
Yeah.
smart.
but we don't really do
So
that.
they didn't need religion.
Yeah.
Right.
And as Jefferson said, religion is the opiate of the masses.
Yeah. But anyways, they're they always for lack of a better way of putting it, they always tolerated each other, and then they didn't talk to each other for like 20 years after Adams or Jefferson took the election. And then they started after both Jefferson's wife had been dead for years, but after Abigail Adams died, they started they were like the two ones left. They were doing just nostalgia bonding, basically.
They became like pen pals, essentially.
Yeah, they became
didn't
like actual friends at the end of their lives because it was just them. Yeah.
So over the course of their political careers, do you think that they were more adversaries than allies, or what was there that mutual
Competition?
respect? Like it was a friendly competition, or they just flat out?
Was it like Bob Dole at McCain's fucking coffin, being like,
Yeah, well, again with all of them, but specifically Jefferson Adams, the ego on these guys was huge. They had a hard time taming their egos. So I think they tolerated each other that first go around during the Revolution and everything like that. They all had roles too, right? Like Adams eventually went to Paris for years and was able to kind of get away from the politicking that was going on back home. So it was easy for them to get along because they weren't around each other. Where when the dust settled, the war is over, now we got to form this government, things started becoming real, and the egos really started coming out with these guys, and they started getting into it. Like Jefferson and Hamilton hated each other. Adams and Jefferson, they made it work the best they could until it fell apart. Hamilton and fucking Jefferson fucking hated each other. Polar opposites politically. And so, I mean, when they were all in the cabinet and they would they'd pop off at each other right in front of Washington. I think Washington's greatness as the first president.
Washington didn't care because he was just high as fuck.
dude, he was just fucking ripping fucking tutors, dude, and making the party happen, right?
Yeah. And he was able to tame a lot of those egos. They had enough respect for Washington where they didn't cross the line with him, and when he told them to shut the fuck up, they basically did it. But that only lasted.
The dynamic between all of them reminds me a lot of the first triumvirate during the Roman Republic between Caesar, Pompey, and Crassus, where
These
what they
fucking
were
stories
trying to do,
of men.
they were just trying to get each other out of the way so they could go
It's
pursue their own
timeless.
things.
It's Shakespearean. It's Greek. It's timeless. These stories of people vying for power. And it's happening in rich families. It's the fucking basis of Arrested Development.
Yes. And Succession.
Yeah.
And fucking, yeah.
It's real. I mean, if you work in certain workplaces, you can see it
Yes.
on certain levels.
Yes.
It happens in every workplace. And I had insight to the White House as far as, certain people that work there. And they're no different than fucking two dudes in the oil field who hate each other. Like, it's just the same fucking infighting and politicking anywhere you go.
That's being human.
I think
Yeah.
Holloway has said it before, where it's like, when in history has someone like gotten power and been like, actually, no, it's okay.
Cincinnatus.
I'll just give it away. Like,
There was a dictator in the Roman Republic named Cincinnatus who was given the power of the dictator.
Cincinnatus.
And he said no?
He took the power, held it for the amount of time that it took him to get everything settled down, and then as soon as he was done, he's like, all right, fuck this, I'm going back to being a farmer. Only example of that I have
One
ever
fucking
found in
time.
history. The
Absolutely.
only example that I have ever found.
Absolutely.
Where he gave up absolute power when he could have held on to it. They were offering him the same
you
amount
can
of power
always
for
hold
longer.
on
They
to
wanted
it.
to
It's not
extend
going to
it.
be fucking great, but
And he
you
was
can
like,
always
"No,
keep it.
Dave Chappelle
I'm
did that.
good.
Well, he had
yeah.
popularity, but he wasn't running the show. That he didn't have power. The producers did that.
That's
think
why
that
producers
was
broke
maybe-
him.
didn't have the power, so
I
he
think
left.
maybe that was the problem, and now he does.
He's got the power.
Oh,
And
yeah,
if you
he
think
does.
he's giving that away,
Hell
he's
no,
not.
no.
Nope.
No. All right. I don't know. Did that answer anything
That was good.
for you?
No, that was
It
perfect.
answered all the
Alright.
things, I think.
So George, Benjamin, Thomas, Colonel Proctor, and John Adams all sit around a table taking their shots. Samuel Miles realizes that John actually, let's.
I'll take one. Thank you.
I'm just gonna.
Jackie, want one?
I'm good, thank you.
I'm gonna keep sipping because I only sipped.
Oh,
And
God.
Cheers.
people will have noticed, and they will
Episode
have
100.
said Jessie didn't take her fucking shot. I see
By the
it
end, you
sitting there. I see it sitting there. She only took one sip. Come for me, Ruben. I don't care.
That's okay. I remember my first time drinking.
Ruben's
God damn it.
shit-faced
Boo.
right now.
Fireball gives you fucking courage, huh?
Oh, it juices me up. That's
come
for
for
damn
me,
sure.
bro. See what happens.
So George, Benjamin, Thomas, Colonel Proctor, and John Adams all sit around the table taking their shots, which we just did. Samuel Miles realizes that John Adams took a shot and beer and starts to walk off. Is this the stuff-
Thanks for the
is this
drinks,
stuff that
Sam.
What?
You're a good man.
You transcribed that I haven't seen yet?
No.
Okay. You want to take
John
that?
Adams took Samuel's drinks, so he's leaving. That's what happened.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks
John
for the drinks,
Adams
buddy.
remembers the first time he cheated on Thomas. I totally forgot about this part. Surprise, surprise. John Adams remembers the first time he cheated on Thomas. It was with Samuel. He shakes it off and focuses back on drinking his beer. Suddenly, George Washington stands. Without saying a word or tapping his wine glass with a fork, the bar becomes silent. Everyone focusing on their glorious leader. Can you see the amount of power that this guy commands? Mm-hmm. Just stands up, everybody shuts the fuck up.
Me?
Yeah. Your line's coming
Yeah, I get it. I felt it.
Yeah, you
George
can stand if you
Washington's American bald eagle shits on another innocent bar patron. Then, George begins to give the greatest speech of his life. Benjamin rolls his eyes and does another line of cocaine.
To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer, right? The slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles.
Throw a couple bros in there, here and there.
You what?
Throw a couple bros and dudes in there.
Have to, bro. Have to, dude. And by opposing, end that, dude. To die, to sleep no more. And by a sleep to say, we end.
The crowd is deeply moved by Washington's speech. He continues.
The heartache.
You got this, George. You're doing great.
Thanks, dude. I know. You don't have to fucking tell me that. Everyone's fucking quiet and staring at me. You don't think I'm doing good?
Okay.
The heartache and the 1,000 natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation, devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep perchance to dream. Ah, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come, right? When we have shuffled off this mortal coil.
George is rudely interrupted by a drunken Benjamin Franklin, who is speaking mostly to himself.
That's fucking Shakespeare, dog.
Bro. Fucking keep it to yourself, dude.
George slaps Ben across the face, and Ben flies through a nearby table.
I was gonna really slap. He turned. I was gonna really slap.
Oh, I was
You
doing
gave
with
me-
the slap.
Oh, okay.
You know how many
You
times
gave
I've
me
been
the eyes. You
slapped
gave me
on
the
camera
eyes. I
before?
was
Yeah.
like-
Yeah, I was gonna turn with a slap. Here, let's do it again.
Oh, Foley. Add Foley like
Son
a
of a
really
bitch.
hardcore slap in there. Okay.
My guess would be the number of times you've been slapped on camera is half the amount of times you've been slapped off camera.
Boom.
Speaking from my own experience. Warning, the following moments that occur are disturbing and violent and true. Listener discretion is advised.
How dare you blindside me, bitch?
The crowd jumps on Benjamin, defending their leader.
From forth the fatal loins of my fucking balls, you cowards.
Fucking out of here.
A full-blown bar brawl ensues. Thomas and John jump to Benjamin's defense, knocking the mob back. In a way, they remind us all of Legolas and Gimli from The Lord of the Rings, my favorite movie ever.
They remind us all.
I wrote this part, and it's a direct attack at Coop. I'm making
Yes.
fun of him.
Okay.
I can always spot those.
Yeah.
Have I mentioned to you guys how much I love the Lord of the Rings franchise? Jesse, I really love
Yeah.
the Lord of the Rings and Legolas.
Yeah.
You and Legolas have the same hair.
We all know. The audience knows. They love you for it. Yep.
And Jack, you remind me of a young Bilbo Baggins, only taller. I love the Lord of the Rings so much. Colonel Proctor steps between George and the mob.
For Frodo.
Colonel Proctor pulls out the first ever custom-made double-barreled sawed-off shotgun and just starts fucking blowing people away.
This is real?
Thomas, no, this is all. This has
I
been
know, it's
transcribed from a
crazy.
document that's
You
well
did
over 200 years
the
old.
Spanish spelling of Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson.
Oh, Tomas.
Tomas Jefferson, like Legolas, pulls out two elven blades and does a cool spin, chopping off a few heads.
A few heads.
You have been watching Rings of Power way too much lately, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
John Adams pulls Benjamin up to his feet, and Benjamin is quite excited.
Holy green Moses on a stick. We done again, haven't we, boys? Can I do that one over? I felt like
Oh, we take it
feel
again?
free.
Okay,
Feel
take
free.
it again.
we've done it again, haven't we, boys?
John Adams.
That was exactly like the last one.
Brilliant.
Put it down.
I haven't seen this. I haven't seen this part that you added. I mean, that you recently transcribed.
Yep.
John Adams headbutts a chick right in the face.
I think it's time we make our exit.
John Adams, overly stimulated by current events, then punches Ben in the face.
Owie!
John throws Ben over his shoulder. He knows if he doesn't get Ben out of there, he could single-handedly kill everyone in the bar.
Mm-hmm.
George notices John Adams saving Ben and saving us all in some way. In his mind, he thinks,
I've always imagined it would be Thomas that would be president after me. But after this bravery, this courage from John Adams, I just don't know who to pick. Maybe I'll have them battle to the death. And the winner can be the next president. Or maybe I'll have them play a game of paper, rock, scissors. I don't. What should I?
a rather large, irritated man approaches George. He has his hat on that says, quote, "Not my president."
I voted for the other guy.
Colonel Proctor steps between George and the large man. Proctor looks back to George with love and honor.
Georgie, go! I can take care of this guy.
No, I won't leave you.
As the world crumbles around them, they lock eyes.
Oh,
A tear begins to form under the eye of our president, but he wipes it away before anyone can see.
fucking gay. Fucking gay shit. I'm not gonna cry,
gay,
dude.
bro.
It's fucking gay, bro.
Colonel Proctor, possibly the only man George has ever loved, if he could love, speaks.
I know now why you cry, but it's something I can never do.
With super cool lighting and slow motion, Colonel Proctor gives his life for George Washington by tackling the large man to the ground. Thomas Jefferson kicks the front door open with quick succession, throws his two elven blades at innocent bystanders outside the bar, killing them instantly. Then, John Adams, with Ben over his shoulder, runs out.
I love you, super hot bartender babes, but we were never here.
Lightning strikes outside the tavern. Krakoom, what the fuck is...
It's a sound effect.
Krakoom! Yeah! Sending Ben and Thomas to the ground.
My God, good boy. Ooh, if you could harness that power. Kite! I need a kite. A kite and a key.
You're drunk. George Washington flies through the air on his American bald eagle that is now the size of a griffin. You're playing too much World of Warcraft, too. It takes a huge shit covering John Adams in white, creamy bird poopy. All the boys laugh. The camera rises to the sky, and before we fade to black, our president has some final words.
Now that was a fucking raider. America is the best goddamn country in the world. You're welcome.
Good stuff.
According to eyewitness reports from drunk people covered in blood, George Washington's American bald eagle shat on an innocent bar patron before carrying our president to safety. After the dust settled, all that remained were the bodies of the men killed, the hungover survivors, and our boy Samuel Miles, who was left with an extremely high bar tab. The only proof that any of these men were actually there that fatal night was George Washington's fancy cocaine satchel. Rest in peace, Colonel Proctor.
And it's true that that guy Samuel Miles was left with the tab. Oh, well done.
I mean, guys, it's been a while.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Jack
that was
does it all the time,
was
but
fucking
Jack came in
amazing.
hot off the top,
Jesus
but
Christ, Jack.
George became who he was supposed to
fucking
be by the end.
stole the
Think-
goddamn show the whole time.
I know. He's in practice.
So
he's like acting a lot. Do you know what I mean?
That voice I did actually, I wrote a sketch script about them signing the Declaration of Independence where Franklin was all hungover, but that was the voice that we did for Jefferson originally. Yeah.
Ah, fuck, that would have been
Perfect.
Would have been way better than what I phoned in.
No, it's great.
Like Joel was just saying, that is actually true. That this one particular guy, Samuel Miles, he was a Quaker. He got stuck with the entire fucking bar tab and had to pay the equivalent of $17,523 for this night of partying.
Can
So
we
again-
talk like it? You obviously took some liberties,
No,
but in
no.
a sense, this event happened, right?
This
Yeah,
event
this
really
really
happened.
happened.
You can actually find the bar tab online
Okay.
that shows everything that they drank and how much it cost. And
That's
that's not even
crazy.
including the cost
fucking crazy.
that they had to pay for the musicians that were there. The musicians also racked up a bar tab that was probably a couple $1,000s. And then
there
Samuel
was a
Miles
band
got
there the
stuck
whole
with that
time.
too. Yeah.
I would have wrote it so the American Bald Eagle shat on the same guy in the band, the bassist, every time.
Yeah,
And
fucking
if you
thing.
are adding like Foley and sound effects, like there needs to be like a low, like jug band type thing playing
Yeah, I'll find-
under.
That's easy. I could just copy
Yeah,
and paste
yeah.
a shitty.
I think I
like-
got one for you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Old Americana, right?
Dude, Jessie's the slinger of sound effects. Like
Yeah.
the manly history we do, she found that song that plays on it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And sound effects. And I'm like, you have to put in human gurgle. Otherwise it won't. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Don't
Just
search
from
cough.
doing- yeah,
Search
human cough. And then if you're looking for songs, you have to put in, what's our thing?
Yeah. Folk.
Yeah, folk, suspenseful, instrumental.
And you have to put the question mark at the end of it.
You have to, like,
if you
the
don't put the
tags
question
that
mark
you
at
have
the
to
end, then
put
it's
on
not
there
going to
is
show up.
insane to get exactly what you want.
But then you do though. It is
But
a
you
skill.
actually do get
Yeah.
it.
It is a skill to find sound effects in songs.
And when you're looking for songs, like there's sites that, like when you're editing, there's sites that, you know, will sell you the song for whatever, your monthly, whatever. And we were thinking of maybe doing like a band, because if you
Oh,
go
yeah.
like, for example, like rock swagger, and then the people that do like
Rock swagger, sexy,
an audio
funky.
an audio socket band, right?
Start a
that like
band
only
called Audio
sells their
Socket.
only sells their songs, because I think we heard one that was like, "Take me to the mountain." And
They had
I'm
vocals.
standing on the edge. And it's like but because they're like making specifically
They're
for
making
like an
songs
editing.
for it. Yeah. So even the lyrics are like super
just
bland.
super
Yeah.
generic.
Take me to the mountain.
So I want to do some
Go
kind
for a
of sketch
ride.
of like the band that like makes music for this one
Oh,
site.
yeah.
It's like, okay, guys, today we're gonna do kind of like a, you know.
I think we should
like
start
a
the band and go on
rock,
tour.
A little bit harder rock, okay?
Hard rock, extreme rock.
Extreme rock is what they're gonna search. So let's go, guys.
Let's get that song figured out.
We've got like the guitar, and it's like. And I saw my mama's eyes. And it has to be like very, you know, just generic. Down the river and through the hills. And then people choose it for something, some kind of like
And you can make
skate
like 40
video
bucks.
or something.
Yeah, you can make like 40 bucks.
Yeah,
off that.
$40 over like the course of 3 months, probably.
But it adds up.
It adds up,
You got
bro.
100 songs on there.
Exactly,
That's
dude.
like $80 a month.
Yeah, pay me for my playlist, dude.
Yeah. That was a weird tangent, but
Yeah,
I'm with
sorry,
you on
guys.
it.
But
No,
yeah,
but it was a needed tangent. It was a necessary tangent. It was
So
something that
fun.
had to happen.
I mean, I think we can agree that like Jack just mopped the floor with all of us.
Yeah, he crushed it.
100%.
Oh, it's not a competition.
It's
Oh, then
always a competition.
stop
bud.
performing so
You're an
fucking
actor.
well.
You know how it goes.
I like
no,
George.
Jack's
I like
Benjamin
George a lot.
Franklin fucking nailed it. I am very, very impressed. Also, I mean, not side note, but kind of a main note to remind everybody, this party actually happened. The people that
I
that
love
were
that.
there, that's Samuel Proctor was definitely there. Colonel
George.
Proctor,
George
Thomas
was
Proctor
there.
was there. George Washington was there. He was there with the light cavalry, which, like I said earlier, actually crossed the Delaware with them.
Yeah. Some of
and
the old war buddies.
yeah, and Samuel Miles actually did get stuck with the entire bar tab, which I think that's just because he was a Quaker, and Quakers are fucking nerds. But
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if that was the social dynamic.
it was just him
Oh,
being
yeah,
so
like
nice.
you're
They were
gonna-
he
just
didn't
being
want to say
bullies.
No.
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt that one bit.
Yeah.
But that
great.
to me, that's one of the greatest benders ever in American history. Like, we all owe our current positions, for good and bad, to this one particular bender that George Washington went on September 14th, 1787.
I think it's great, dude.
All right.
You guys ready to close this out and get the fuck out of
Yeah,
here?
let's get drunk.
GTFO.
Sure.
Oh, shit. I already started doing that like yesterday.
I know. Oh, we're
Oh, yeah.
just now getting drunk?
More drunk, I mean.
Oh,
I jumped the
okay.
gun on that one.
Okay.
Well, that's it for this episode of the Iconoblast Podcast. I highly, highly, highly recommend that you go to the Iconoblast Podcast YouTube channel so you can see the amazing performances by the one and only Jack Manfred Mandaville
Don't make
first
me nervous.
and Jessie Wiseman. Well, I do gotta say
Yes.
that
Well done.
Jessie was kind of acting it out a little bit better. She was getting a little bit more into character.
I
No
stood
offense to
up.
your performance, Jack.
I stood up. So
This-
if you want to see on the
You-
on the
George's
YouTube-
speech was
you felt the
dope.
moments and you
found them.
leaned into it.
Yeah.
Didn't even have to be written into the script.
So
You
it's hard
leaned
for me
into
to
it.
read in general. So a cold read, right,
Yeah.
Jack? I mean,
So I dropped out of school in third
Yeah.
grade.
No, it was just never like, you know, when you like had to read I can read. I mean,
I have
let's
like
not let's
I've been
not be
subscribed to Cosmo for 14
crazy.
years.
I have Audible, but you know, when they would like call you out to like read in front of the class,
that was-
your
It's terrifying.
mind just like
It's absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
he
What
was
is that,
probably
popcorn?
great at it, but it was just like
Oof, yeah.
that instantly I
popcorn
couldn't
reading.
read any
shuts down. The
words.
brain
It
shuts
just
down.
like you're on the spot. That's what I mean by not being able to read very well.
Sure
I have
it
that
is.
same
I
thing.
can't read a room.
Clearly.
You and me both, buddy.
Yay,
You and me
buddy.
both.
Hey, thank you guys so much for
Yeah.
helping us with our 100th episode.
Yeah,
Thanks for that. Honestly, like I freaking love all your shows. So
it really is fitting that we have both of you on episode 100 of Iconoblast because we owe some very specific things to both of you. Which, number one, Jesse, you were the one that actually, for good or bad, convinced us to move out here to Austin and start doing a
Because I
podcast.
loved your show, and I was like, you have to fucking do it, and people are gonna like it, and I was
Because
right.
you had the misguided opinion that
Yeah.
we had a good show, but
Yes.
you encouraged us to keep doing it,
Yes.
and I appreciate that
Okay,
because
you're welcome.
that's one of the few steady constants in my life right now, and I really, really appreciate that.
You're welcome,
and Jack,
and
you were
I'm
actually
sorry.
the first person to ever ask me to be a guest on a show, and
Oh.
the first time that I ever did
Yeah,
the Jack
I've-
Sesh, I had a full-blown panic attack.
Why?
And I had to go outside. I'd never been on somebody else's show before. I had to go
It's
outside
an
and call my
interesting,
sister and have
it's an
her talk me
interesting
down.
point in a podcast career when someone else goes like, hey, I want you to be on my show. I'm sure, I don't know if you remember the first time someone asked you to be on their show, but
Yeah, it was Drinking Bros. It was probably,
right?
it was 2000. I think we all were there. It was for the Range 15 Vegas shit.
Oh, shit.
That was my
mean,
first time I was ever on a.
Were you nervous? It was a kind of a weird
No,
show. But
well, there was fucking 6 of them, and some of them, like, I was the lowest man on the totem pole, so I probably said 2 or 3 words the entire time.
I think you and me both, like, maybe, I don't know if you were, I think you were at least on the panel. I was, like, off to the side with Mindy or something.
Yeah, well, they did
yeah.
all the males did one, and all
Yes.
the females did another
Yes.
one, yeah.
But it's a real, if you like podcasting and you think of it as an amazing,
It's like going on a fucking
medium,
talk show.
someone asking you to do their show kind of validates something that you didn't, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Which we all fucking need, right?
Yes.
Validation.
No,
I
absolutely.
need constant validation.
Constant validation.
None
My
of us
dog's
would
Someone
be doing
being
my
like,
face if we
you're
didn't need
good
that.
enough that I want you to like make my show better, which is like, no matter what, I'm always like, hell yeah. Like if you think I'm good enough to make your show better.
Right. Yes.
why I'm here.
You just said exactly what I was trying to get across, and you said it so much better. That was the thing about the first time that you invited me to be on the Jack Sesh. It was a huge compliment to me. Like it.
And you were like,
it
can
made
I
me feel
do
like, oh,
this? Fuck.
shit, I need to do this, and I need to not fuck up Jack's show. And I'm very new to this. I don't know what I'm doing.
Man.
I'm scared as fuck, but
And then I just left you there, and I took 3 cigarette breaks in the middle of the show.
Did you? But that was
heard
the
a little,
Jack Sesh,
I heard
right?
a little
So-
Benjamin Franklin coming out in your voice
yeah,
just
I know.
now.
I thought you were about
Yeah,
to go
I thought you were
back
going
into
back
the
into character.
script.
I took that as a huge compliment, and that was a very formative part of my podcasting career was when you asked me to be on the Jack Sesh. I sincerely appreciate it.
I like coming on y'all's show, and I've I like both softcore and iconoblast. I'm genuinely learning a lot of shit that I didn't know before because you guys like deep dive. So even like with when we did the Roman shows, like I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna use this shit at parties that nobody's gonna want to care about talking about Roman shit with me.
Yeah.
I have so many more things to talk about that nobody's going to care about. This
yeah.
is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna really bore
But
somebody in
it's
the
like
corner.
you guys like deep dive into it. So I'm like, oh man, I'm learning a lot here.
Yeah. And
But
I'm
we-
just brought on for comic relief because I don't know anything.
No, we know the topics to pick with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Serial killers.
You know a
and
lot about
Billionaires,
serial killers.
murder, death,
Sexually dysfunctional people.
yes,
You know, that
porn, all the different sites, all the different kinks, right? And we don't
prolapses.
shame.
You haven't said prolapse on this episode yet.
Oh shit!
We need to end with
Straight into the camera.
I should have put that as George's final thing. Yeah.
Oh, you fuck, but it's okay. Prolapse.